Hello and welcome back to another YouTube. So I'm going to use this YouTube today because I talk a lot about training glutes. I'm going to use this YouTube today to take you through my upper body workout. So as I said in previous YouTubes, I train quite specifically for my frame and for the category I am aiming to fit into. So I don't do like a lot of back and things like that. So I'll go into that. I'll show you a little bit of my upper body workout, and then I am going to talk a little bit. I put a question box on my Instagram about any kind of questions, things like that, and something that came up that people wanted me to discuss was about first timers, just a few questions. So I then followed up with another question box with kind of anything any first timers specifically want to know, and any helpful information that if you've competed before, what you would tell yourself as a first timer, that would be really useful information to know. So we will go through those questions and answers, and then hopefully if you are a first timer looking to compete, or you've competed before and there might be something that we cover that you didn't even think of or you've always questioned, then hopefully I will cover that as well. So yes, I will take you through my upper body workout. Bear with me as I do not have anyone recording with me and the gym is normally quite busy, so I will do my best to record as much as I can. And then we're going to go for a little bit of posing, and then this question and answer to do with first timers and competing. So very excited to get stuck in, and yeah, I will see you in the next clip when I will be in the gym.
boys to the yard, boys to the yard, boys to the yard, 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 to the yard.
So, training is done. That is basically what I do for my upper workout. So as I touched on, upper workout is very much specific towards me and my body composition currently. So for the IFBB, it's very much an hourglass shape. So I need a lot more glutes, being quite short, and the fact I can be quite quad dominant. I hold my quads very well, so I haven't trained quads in a while. Hamstrings, I do a touch on hamstrings a little bit within a couple of my movements on my lower days, but it's mainly a lot of glute isolation movements. And then obviously my upper is a lot of shoulders, a little bit of triceps and biceps, the odd back exercise. As you can see, that my back is quite dominant as well. And obviously for the IFBB posing, my back is covered. I still need to make sure I can create that hourglass shape, but it's not so fixed like a PCA style posing where I need to flare and make everything look a bit bigger. So I need to look balanced from top to bottom. So if my back starts getting overpowering and obviously my glutes being a weakness, I'll start looking a bit too top heavy. So I need to create that balance in between, keep that small waist. So hence now doing abs quite a lot. So that is a breakdown of my training. I do 2 upper days a week, 3 lower days. I touched on this last time. I do my cardio every day. I do a chunk of it morning fasted, then I do a little bit post workout. That's just my personal preference. There's no right or wrong. Fit it into your day. I've done some preps where I've had to do it all post workout. I've done some preps where I've done it all in the morning. I've done some preps where I split it, because I've had quite a lot. I split it sporadically throughout the day just to work around me, whatever I've got on at the time. So for me, my routine at the minute, this is my personal preference. So yeah, that's a little bit on my workout. I am going to carry on doing a little bit more posing, then I'm going to head home and eat because I am hungry. Next one for YouTube, we have Shelby today. So we're going to go through our different side poses that we can do. So you'll see this with bikini that you have 2 different options that you can do. So we're just going to break down how you're going to set up for both those side poses, okay? So we're going to keep our feet nice and close together. You're going to come up onto your toes with the leg that will be closest to the judges. We want to make sure we really push those glutes back, but keep our torso nice and tall. We're going to bring the back hand onto our waist. We're going to think about flaring the lat and lifting that shoulder up first. And while we keep the hips to the side, we're going to then twist around so we can open up our top half to the judges. Perfect. So we basically don't want to twist our hips too close to the judges because then we'll start hiding the glutes. So we want to make sure we can twist as far to the side as possible. While twisting the top half around, we want to create a nice wide top line, which is perfect. So if I was to draw a line from shoulder to shoulder, it'd be nice and straight. We want to keep our hand nice and low, and we want to really think about driving that thumb in to pop this back shoulder as much as possible, keeping that core nice and tight. So that is how you're going to set up for your first style of bikini posing. Next one. So we're going to keep our feet together, and then we're going to take one small step back and really sit into our glutes with our back leg. We want to think about keeping ourselves nice and tall because it's very common to sit into that back leg and then really drive back, which then means we lean forward. So we want to think about a string from our belly button to the ceiling, keeping everything nice and tall. This back leg is going to be literally on our toes. We don't want to think about crossing it too far across. It's just sitting just nicely behind, keeping that core tight, and then it's the same setup before. Back hand goes onto the waist, bringing that lat and that shoulder out, and then twisting that top half around. Perfect. So we want to make sure we're really showing off our glutes here. We don't want to excessively bend the leg. You see a lot of people really sitting into that glute. We do want to make sure we can have a soften, but we can keep that leg nice and straight. We keep the core tight. We're showing off that glute. Again, we don't want to open up our waist too much to create a big wide waist and hide the glutes. So hips to the side, opening up that top half, really showing off how small our waist is. So that is a rundown on how you're going to do your 2 different bikini side poses. So I put a little box on my Instagram about any questions. First timers did ask. I had a few girls that are first timers that asked a few questions in particular when it comes to show day. So because I've been getting a few of these on Instagram, I thought it's good to try and cover some on YouTube as well, as this seems to be quite popular. Obviously this is a bikini prep series, so any Q&As that I can answer, anything that you might want to know, or any kind of statement. So put a little box on my Instagram just saying if there's anything you want to pass on, if you've competed before, if there's anything you want to pass on to help other people, if there's any questions in particular that you have. So I do have a few things, so I just want to take the time to go through this, and then hopefully it will help someone else as well. So I have a couple questions and a couple kind of just really positive statements. So going through the questions first, how savage is peak week? So peak week actually shouldn't be savage at all. It should be the time where you are ready. You should be chilling. So we ideally say to our clients, like, if you can take the week off, you'll normally be training kind of pump sessions at the beginning of the week, and then you'll be tailing off towards the end. You're going to want to have normally the day off before your show to flush off any kind of water retention, any stress, things like that. And then obviously, you know, some days before the show you might have to get there to register, tan before, all those kind of things. So peak week in itself shouldn't be savage, but it shouldn't be anything too crazy in the sense of it's going to be hardcore and you're going to manipulate loads of stuff. Like, it shouldn't be. You should be ready basically by the time peak week comes around. So it should be something that you enjoy and look forward to. Like, you've got your accommodation booked, you should have your bikini by that point, tan all booked, and you should just be feet up, ready to wash off any kind of water retention, any stress, anything at all, and go in feeling really fresh and ready. So peak week shouldn't be savage at all. Places to get bikinis, and also is it better to hire or buy? So I've had this question before. So as far as places to get bikinis, so for me personally, I go with Sammy from Bikini Boutique. She is absolutely lovely, and it's completely up to you whether you want to hire or buy. So there's many pros and cons to both. So hiring, you get to, obviously, if it's a little bit more affordable, firstly. If you want multiple bikinis, it's then going to work out a little bit better financially because you could hire multiple rather than buying multiple. The cons is going to be, obviously, that's not your official design, like it's someone else's design, but obviously that's not the end of the world. And then with buying, obviously you get to choose your own bikini, your own colors. It is fitted for you specifically, but obviously cons, it's a little bit more expensive, and you know, if you want to change up bikinis, you're gonna have to buy a few different bikinis. You could buy one, rent another, obviously, as well. Is it going to be the case you're going to wear that bikini then on? It, you know, a lot of girls will then sell that bikini on to then be able to buy another one. Are you going to want to keep that bikini because it's like, say, your first ever bikini? So there's many things of what you want to think about, how to choose your bikini color. So this is something I talk about a lot with my gals. So in terms of bikini colors, it's going to be, choose a color that you feel really comfortable in. So for me, for example, I would never wear green. Just because green just doesn't suit me. So things like blue suits me, pink, black, those kind of things. Find a colour that, say, you'd wear on a night out or that you wear day to day that makes you feel good in yourself. That's going to be the first thing. And then secondly, think about what federations you're competing with. Most things like PCA and stuff, you can be really fun with your bikini colours, but think of the backdrop. You know, you don't want to kind of blend in with a backdrop. Say FITX has a red backdrop. So if you go with a red bikini, especially if you're blonde haired, so you have the tan, and then, which is quite warm, your hair can be a little bit of a warm colour. You're going with, say, a warm red and then a red background. It can just be quite blurred sometimes, not always, but sometimes. So it is something to bear in mind. Whereas if you're going with say a royal blue and a dark blue background for PCA, but you've got the blonde hair, that's going to be something that pops. So have a little think about what colours work best for you, what you feel comfortable in, and then also what federations you're going for. Think of the backdrop, think how you can kind of pop out, contrast, and kind of make yourself stand out in that bikini lineup. Is the difference within posing? So I'm assuming that means within posing federations and like what's the posing criteria. So apart from the IFBB and like NPC route, where you have like a front and back pose, and that tends to be it, all the other federations are pretty much the same in terms of bikini. Obviously, purely, you've got it's very much a fitness model category. You will have NFM have a diva category, and UKUP also have a fitness model category where all that kind of posing would be very similar. But otherwise, NFM, FITX, UKUP and PCA and stuff are all the standard quarter turns when it comes to bikini. So then it just then goes into detail with mainly like what options of maybe side poses you'd like to use, different transitions, like make the routine your own, and just trying to have that play. But the main thing is going to be you're going to do a front, side, back and side pose with all those other federations apart from the IFBB, NPC, so like the two bros route, where you will just do a front and back. Read, I'm not sassy enough for bikini. Have you got any tips? So you don't have to be sassy if you're not a sassy person. So I'll put a clip of me when I competed back in 2022 where I am kind of walking on stage and I'm just very happy. So I'm not a sassy person. If you are sassy, sultry, confident, you know, get the judges to give you eye contact and you can do all that, absolutely own it. Like really strut your stuff on stage, but don't feel like just because someone else is posing a certain way, you have to pose that way as well, because at the end of the day, you've just got to make sure that you're enjoying yourself on stage. That's the main thing. Even if you look at like the top Olympians, if you look at like Laura Lee, who looks very sassy when she walks on stage, and then you look at like Ashley, who looks very happy on stage, like at the end of the day, it's about bringing your personality to the stage, not trying to do what someone else does. So as long as you're having fun, that's the main thing. You want to make sure that you're enjoying your time on the stage. There's nothing worse than if you look like a deer in headlights. If you are looking worried, you know, the judges want to see you stand out for the right reasons and have fun on that stage. Tips for doing your own tan. So there is actually a really helpful blog on the Compact website, so you can buy obviously the base coat and the top coat yourself. I think this is something that can be really, really kind of thought too much about when if you self-tan day to day, it really isn't that hard. I've done my own tan for shows. The main thing is going to be understanding what federations it's slightly darker for. So like PCA, their base coat is quite light, but then their dark coat is super dark, like it's very dark. And Two Bros tends to be a bit of a lighter shade, so understanding the shadings there, but it's not that complicated to tan yourself. It's better if you're buying the bottle, pour it into Tupperware first and then use the mitt and cover yourself, because it will be applied a lot darker. It normally comes as a spray bottle. If you spray yourself, it's more so, if you spray yourself, it's a lot better as like a day-to-day tan, because I use it as a day-to-day tan. Not at the minute though, I am pasty. But otherwise, if you want to use it obviously pre-stage, then put it into a Tupperware and then use your mitt and put it all on. Do wear gloves when you use it because it will soak through the mitt as well. But I will put a link in the comment section to the Compact post about doing your own tan, and if you have any questions, please feel free to again drop me a message on Instagram, or I'm sure Compact will be happy to answer any questions, but it's not as complicated as we may think. So otherwise, a few of the girls that put in comments who have competed before, one was invest in a walking pad. They are very good. Walking pad or treadmill, when your steps are super high, especially at the minute, it is January, it is cold, it is rainy, it's such a good way to get steps in. So if you can invest in a walking pad, then they will be a lifesaver. I fully agree with that statement. Don't stress on the day. You've done everything and it's time to enjoy the stage. So this is something to definitely bear in mind, because it's very easy. Everyone always says, you know, the work is done, enjoy. And then it just sometimes goes over your head sometimes because you spend the day stressing. And again, this could be a whole nother YouTube in itself. Stressing is not good. Trust me, being there ruined my physique from pure stress. So again, another YouTube could be completely about handling show day nerves, if that's something you guys want to know more about, because that is something I've personally had to deal with myself. But the work is done. Like, you need to go and have fun. At the end of the day, you haven't busted your ass on like the Stairmaster for like an hour every day, 20,000 steps, no carbs, whatever it is. You haven't been doing that for that long to then blow it all on show day, which is the day you've worked for. So make sure you do enjoy that show day. Final statement, don't compare yourself to others on social media. Focus your energy on your own work, which I fully support, because we can get so caught up looking at other people and be like, why am I not as muscular as her? Why is I not as lean as her? Why am I not eating as much food as her? And still going into so much detail about it. But actually, that's not going to change anything. You are you, and you have to focus on the way you look and bring in your best. It's your journey at the end of the day. You cannot be that other person. Bodybuilding is such a subjective sport that you may be someone's cup of tea, you may not be. At the end of the day, the judges are human. They have a certain criteria that they like the look of, and they're going to judge you on who turns up on the day. So you have to bring your best, and that's all you can physically do. Is like cheesy and cliche as it sounds, that's literally all you can do, because you can't control who else is going to turn up. You cannot turn into someone else and look like someone else, but you can focus on how you can progress moving forward. So that is always going to be the most important thing. So again, it's very, very easy. Remember, social media, everyone is going to be posting their pictures at their absolute best, while you're probably going to be looking at it while you're kind of at the end of the day, you're full of like 4 or 5 liters of fluids, you're feeling really bloated, and you know, you're not all pumped under the right lighting, but you're scrolling through social media and seeing like so-and-so has got a glute ham tie-in, or so-and-so's like pumped up their delts and they look amazing. And you know, do not compare. You're seeing someone's highlight reel, you're comparing against most likely the time of the day that you're, like I said, you're going to be bloated or whatever. And then also if you take all that stress that you're going to be doing looking at someone else's physique, you could be using all that energy into a positive, into your own. Like, put that into your training, put that into your recovery and your motivation and everything else. So focus on your journey, because I promise you, at the end of the day, we all do this because we want to do well. But at the end of the day, it's so subjective. You cannot dictate placings. I have done one show, come dead last, and then done another show and got my pro card. So up and down, it's so subjective. So as long as you make sure you're bringing your best, you enjoy your time on stage, and you take every bit of like constructive criticism and how your journey has been, and take that and be proud of yourself to then initiate how you're going to keep yourself moving forward. That is how you're going to succeed. That is how you're going to do well at this sport. You cannot be anyone else. The judges will like who they like. As long as you bring your best, that is the most important thing. So I will wrap that up here. The next YouTube will be post my snowboarding holiday, so I'll try and get some clips while I'm out there. Otherwise I will do a little bit of a wrap up when I'm back, and how I kind of managed prep while I was away, and yeah, then we'll be even closer to show. So still have a little while yet. We've got a few ideas with things, but yeah, feeling good, feeling fresh. And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment what else you want to see, and I will see you in the next one.